It's hard to believe that in 2017, with all the advancements made in agriculture and the food industry, many people around the world still do not have enough to eat. This is a tragedy by every means. There is more than enough food produced to feed everyone. Yet, according to the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization, more than 800 million people suffer from hunger and more than 2 billion from micronutrient deficiencies. Now, as the world celebrates World Food Day tomorrow on the 16th of October, we want to focus on matters nutrition here on Weekend Express. And we have in studio Belinda Otieno, who is a nutritionist. Belinda, thank you so much for joining us this morning on Weekend Express. So, of course, matters nutrition takes center stage when we're talking about food security, when we're talking about just overall well-being of a particular population. But let's perhaps begin with, what are we talking about when we mean good nutrition?
Usually when you look at nutrition and looking at the human being, we all flourish from the food that we eat. You've heard about the famous saying, you're what you eat. So in most cases, when we're trying to advise people on what they need to eat, we look at a balanced diet, that which can nourish the body and that which can give you probably your energy, can help with bodybuilding, can help with building up your immunity, that which keeps you living. That is what we really focus on. And in all aspects of nutrition, really try to focus on what we can locally find also available in the market.
Right. All right, so, basically, you go to the market and you find an array of foods, or sometimes go to the supermarket. Many foods have different labels, even in terms of the ingredients and their nutrition. And it becomes tricky as to whether you need to be very keen on looking at these labels and how many calories they have and what ingredients they have. Let's begin there in terms of buying processed foods, because that is the age at which we are really. And, nutritionists and health experts say processed foods are some of the unhealthiest foods that we consume. So how do we go about this in this day and age?
Where we are focusing especially on nutrition, we are really trying to encourage our consumers to learn how to read the food labels. So anything that you don't understand on the food label, please keep it aside.
Right.
Because if you look at how the world is going, everything is more and more of processed. But if you look at the processed foods, they're high in salt, high in sugar, high in fat. And the worst part about it is that all these things usually give you a craving. Say, for example, by the time you leave the studio here, your head will probably be talking about, I need an ice cream, I need something, fries and all that. And then if you look again at the trends that are going, at least after every stop, after every 10 minutes, there's a food joint. These food joints, the way they are, if you look at everything the way has been, the foods have been packaged, the foods are fat, sugar, salt, which we term as unhealthy. Then if you look at how now they affect your life, if you look at the cases of obesity, I don't think Kenya is far from meeting up with the Western world anymore, because the obesity cases are on the rise.
Right.
And then we as parents, again, what have we done? For us, like today, it's on a Sunday. What is the best thing you will do after church? Probably look for one of the food joints and take your children there. And then again, if you look at it, what is this that we're packing for our children for break? It is the crisps, it is the sausages, it is the juices, the processed juices and all that. So basically and generally, our food, we are moving towards, it's like it's making your life easier. Processed foods are easier to buy, cheaper to buy because you don't have to go to the kitchen and cook it. But how is it affecting your health?
Right.
So if you look at the amount of calories that are on each and every packet, say, for example, if you pick your sausages, all you need to concentrate, look at the type, the amount of fat, the amount of salt, the amount of sugar. And you realize that whatever we are taking is usually more than what is required for the day. And then how is the body going to react on it? Your body will always pick what it requires. What it does not require is going to be converted into fat. Where is the fat going to be stored? In your body.
Right.
When it's stored in your body, what happens? Then you're normal weight, you're overweight, you're an obese. And then the next thing, what happens? The chronic illnesses check in. So it's very wise for us, and it's very important that anything that you do not term natural foods, and natural foods, let me put it in a layman's language, kienyeji, chakula kienyeji, you know that which you buy from the market, this is your sukuma wiki, this is your beef, these are your fruits, that is what we want. So if you look at the other processed foods, what we have in the market, you say, for example, if it's maybe like a tinned fruit, that tinned fruit, for it to be fresh there, has to go through a bit of processing, and the preservatives that will be used, and the additives will be more on the sugar, more on the salt, and all that. Remember, so long as that fruit is in that preservative, you will still take in that extra that is required.
And it's still processed. But would you say then we have reached that level in terms of Kenyan culture and behavior, where really the larger market, the larger consumer market would go to a supermarket or a food store and actually assess the nutrition facts on the labels that we have?
Yeah, now, let's take generally what is happening in the Kenyan market. Say, for example, if you walk into a supermarket, the first thing that you'll meet in the supermarket, it's a food court. That never used to be there, which means we used to, more or everything we used to get from the market, and it has to be cooked in the kitchen.
Right.
But right now, if you walked in any supermarket, the first thing you're going to meet, it's a bakery, it's a food court, and then look at it realistically, that which will attract you as a person, the smell, the color of the food, and we don't even care how the food was cooked. So long as it looks good, that is what you're going to take in. So basically, if you look at the culture and how we have become westernized, that is where we all want to be.
Right.
And the other thing is, women, especially, this is more, I'm talking more to the women. For us, we are known to be the homemakers, and we're in the kitchen and we'll cook and all that. But we made it even easier. All you have to do when you get to the supermarket is pick up your phone and call everyone in the house and ask them, what will you have? So I'll do chicken, I'll do beef and all that. And they even ask you, with the era of phones, we take a selfie and tell you, would you like this? This is the food that is on the, or
right.
is being served here. So you find, the moment you've not cooked that food, you don't know what was put in that food. You don't know what is making that vegetable green up to the end of the day. Because for us, if you cook the vegetable, just say, for example, if you cut your vegetables a little bit earlier, say in an hour before the processing, what happens? It changes the color because of the environment and the process of cutting it and all that. But that which has been cooked there in the supermarket, that green vegetable will remain green for the rest of the day. You need to ask yourself questions. What did they use to make it green? And whatever was used, is it going to affect your health? And if we look at the statistics generally, I work in a hospital. So what happens is, when we profile people, and we usually do maybe a 24-hour recall and probably even go back up to 6 months. And all I'm trying to figure out is, what have you been feeding on?
Right.
And then out of that, you realize this person probably, what you term as healthy, if we classify it and we look at the calories on it, I simply tell you, yes, you assume you've been eating well, but look at how this food is affecting you.
Because many times you eat to get full.
Yeah, you see, it is for the human being, and our pleasure is in food. You see, you will always reward yourself. Say, for example, today you got a promotion. What's the first thing you'll think about? We will bring you cake. We will look at something. Let's go eat. Let's go drink, and all that.
Right.
And then when you get there, say, for example, we go for a sitting, and then I'll be there. Please, can I have some pineapple juice and sweetened and all that? You'll be looking at me with the sense of, Belinda, please, we're out here, have some soda.
All right.
Yeah, have some junk food.
Let me just pause you there, but we'll come back with this conversation. I'll just take a short break here on Weekend Express. We're speaking to Belinda Otieno, who is a nutritionist. We'll be back with this conversation in just a moment as the world celebrates World Food Day tomorrow. We focus on nutrition and how to better feed ourselves for our overall health. So when we come back, we'll be focusing on some nutrition myths and whether they are facts. We'll be trying to debunk that in just a moment. Stay with us.